It's a news-heavy day. I'm conflicted because there's been a lot of Aaron, Rekieta, April news lately.
Right.
And it's been difficult since May to strike that balance between, talking about the things that are news that surround you and not talking too much about this thing. But you can't, there is this small portion of the audience who goes, well, don't talk about it. You can't not. If you don't,
it's technically news.
You're being phony if you don't talk about it. However, learn the difference between doing this to entertain the audience and doing this for you. That's kind of the middle ground you need to strike. Plus,
performance and therapy. Find the line.
Yeah. Plus, Meme Copium is streaming this morning. And, oh, God, what's his name? It's not Sean. Josh. Josh from Meme Copium will be covering all of this. So they released the transcript from the Omnibus hearing.
Oh, damn. I was going to say body cam footage, and I'd be like, oh, boy.
Bro, you're not going to believe this. I'm going to give you some news that's going to make your head explode. When it comes to what happened at the Omnibusin and the transcript of it, you know how Nick did a stream that night?
Yeah.
It turns out Nick lied and misrepresented what happened at the Omnibusin hearing.
That is...
I know.
What?
I know. I couldn't believe it either.
You're telling me a man who's fiercely monogamous is aggressively monogamous.
Doesn't do drugs.
Doesn't do drugs.
Yeah.
Is he lied?
He lied. Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to take this.
The thing I was reading just before the show was, you know how we were told that the judge ruled that April's stuff on the body camera can't be used unless she testifies? You know how that was the ruling?
Right.
That wasn't the ruling at all. The prosecution just said that. The prosecution just said, we're not going to use this unless she testifies. Like, do you know how much confidence the prosecution has to have in their case when they have basically what amounts to a confession on video and they're not even fighting to use it?
Unless the person themselves is going to testify.
Right. They're like, unless she testifies, we're not going to put this because it could be a Sixth Amendment issue, Fifth Amendment issue, blah, blah, whatever. So it was actually the judge himself said, I'm not ruling on this yet. If we go to trial, then maybe I can rule on this. But right now, I don't see a reason to make a decision on this, on the body cam thing, on the April part of this.
That could be in play at any point then.
It could, but it won't. What the prosecution is trying to say is, we don't need this. Like, it's basically the prosecution kind of cocking off to Nick's side and going, because Nick's side is going, you can't use this. You can't use what she said. It's a violation of this and that. And the prosecution's like, yeah, we don't give a
We want it anyway.
Yeah, we don't really need it. I mean, do you want us to not use it? And the judge is like, well, I'm not going to rule on it. And prosecution's like, Your Honor, you don't need to rule on this shit. We'll just tell you right now. Unless she's going to testify, it's hearsay. We don't really need it. It was the prosecution that said, it's all hearsay unless she testifies. We don't give a shit. Again, it's just, I keep referencing the scene in either Scarface or The Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street, where they look at him and go, you're what we call a Grenada. Or in Scarface, where they go, when you find $1.2 million in cash, honey, baby, it's hard to convince the jury that you found it in the back of a taxi cab. When you have an ounce of cocaine staring you right in the face being taken out of your home, Nikki, baby, it's hard to convince a jury that you found it in the back of a taxi cab. The problem with an ounce of cocaine is even if you find it in the back of a taxi cab, once you bring it home, you're possessing it.
And it's still not a good idea.
It's a terrible idea, actually. So we got that, and then also there was a motion filed by April's attorney, so she does have an attorney. There was a motion filed to dismiss all of her charges, and people were saying, oh, my God, there's a motion to dismiss all of her charges. This is pretty normal. Any lawyer would ask for this. Any lawyer would go, especially low-level felonies like fifth-degree felonies. You would go, how about we just call this thing a day and just everybody walks away? Now, they list some stuff from the search warrant affidavit and the arrest and everything else, why it should be thrown out. They mention that April is only mentioned 5 times in the affidavit or the report or whatever. But unfortunately, Johnny, April is mentioned 6 times. Do you know what the 6th time she's referenced is that they missed in their motion to dismiss?
I don't know. What's the 6th time?
It's the time Kayla referred to her as the live-in nanny.
Oh.
Yeah. They just conveniently left that part out.
Yeah. That thing that Nick keeps saying wasn't the thing.
Yeah. So they left that one out. So tomorrow, April goes to Zoom court. You've got the transcript of the omnibusin. And what I learned about the transcript from the omnibusin is nobody in this whole realm knows how to follow a court proceeding and take proper notes. Because everybody's notes were kind of wrong from what actually happened. I think people were just confused. And I'm not shitting on them because I wouldn't be able to do it either. I mean, if I watched it, I'd be like, I don't know. But I wouldn't take notes. I wouldn't try to inform people on what's going on. I'd be like, I have no idea what they just said. No clue. So we'll see how that all goes. There's a lot still left to happen, and it's not going to happen overnight. So I think the next one is September 5th is the next deal. A lot of people want to write in about Nick and the whenever there's new documents, it seems like our first hour and a half of the show is kind of getting people's emotions on that. And then I think I've figured out what my role in this is. People send me their feelings on it, and then I can kind of clarify through experience.
Okay.
They go, this is this. And I can go, well, one time there was this. So it could be. That might be a better way to go. Them wanting to cover everything you do is almost sadder than you wanting to cover everything Nick related, says Approachable. Well, at least they're newsworthy. Me, I'm just a girl trying to make it work. Dead Game says the motions Nick is filing is called a lover's quarrel. Okay. McBuster says, coming soon, the HBO special, The Polycule, Aaron's big gay breakup. It is, dude, that's all I'm saying is it's weird.
Dude, are you still in talks with the guy about the Lifetime movie thing?
That low-level producer who wants to move up in the world? Just basically what he's doing now, because I was like, I don't know what you want from me, stories-wise. And so what I told him is, whenever you have a question for me, because he's writing a story.
Right.
I don't know if he hasn't said explicitly that it's going to be a faithful adaptation or if he's going to use parts of it to create what he wants to make. But he said he was inspired by this whole thing. He follows internet drama and shit. He's a former Rekieta fan. And he just basically was asking me really open-ended shit. And I was getting kind of frustrated because I'm like, I don't know exactly what you want from me. I go, so how about this? Ask me specific questions and I'll elaborate. I said, or go back and watch clips from Alyssa Clips and other people, get my stories from back then and use those. Use those as dictation.
Right.
That could help you too. I told him to go watch the Kino Casino episode. That would help. Oh, no, I missed Sean. I hope Sean's still here. He's probably getting ready to go watch Meme Copium. Sean from Potentially Criminal with $5 says, speaking of nosediving, there's never a need to pull up at Stoney's Bar and Grill. You'll always be riding high at Stoney's. There we go.
It's just helping you do reads, man. He's just a good dude.
Thank you, Sean. Sean's a good guy. I mean, the fact that he called the Ethan Ralph thing, the boxing thing between he and I, tard jousting, did it hurt a little? It hurt a little.
Dude, it wouldn't hurt me at all. That'd be hilarious.
You can't.
I'd love to see tard jousting.
Here's another big difference between me and a lot of these people we've talked about on the internet. When a guy like Sean, people will be like, Sean called this tard jousting, or Meme Copium said this about you. And you're like, you go and watch it and you go, yeah, guys, it's a news story. It's a news item. It's a topic for banter, and they're making fun of it. They're doing what I do, only I'm the target this time. This isn't like Sean's ready to go to war. Sean's calling you out. Sean is making fun of retarded shit.
And this time I was retarded.
And this time I'm the retard. There will come a time where Sean is the retard. Believe you me.
And I'll be waiting.
Wasn't he the one who had to sit there and listen to the Denny's joke?
I think so.
No, I think it was.
Or was that
uncivil law? That might have been Kurt who had to listen to the Denny's joke.
Uncivil law is the creepy one, right?
The one with the ass cream or whatever?
No, the one who made weird comments about like legal age of consent and shit.
Same guy.
Okay, yeah. There's an ass cream thing too now? I don't want to learn more about this.
We don't have to. Dude, there's so many like reaction streams of people reacting to the Denny's cop joke. Oh, here's one. Aaron reacts to Nick Rekieta. The second one when you search for it. Aaron reacts to Nick Rekieta's cop at Denny's joke. It's all just people reacting to it. No, it was Kurt from Uncivil Law. Thank you to Potentially Criminal. Thank you to Sean. Go subscribe to Sean, his channels. That's where I get all my legal information on this case and stuff. I love how like I lived through something, but I'm such a legal retard that I need to go to like legal professionals and be like, all right, what happened to me now? Like I need to go to other people and be like, all right, the thing I was doing, what does that mean? All right, I'm going to tell Aaron what a retard he is. All right, good, because I was lost a little bit. Thank you. A lot of people are like, Sean says you're retarded. I'm like, I watched Sean to figure out how retarded I was and to know what's going on. But that's all I got, guys. I got April's got her court thing tomorrow. They filed a motion to drop everything, and that's pretty standard. That's just good lawyering. That's what you should do. Will it work? Probably not. But they did leave out in the hearing the amount of times April was mentioned in the report. They said it was 5. It was actually 6. The 6th one was Kayla saying she's our live-in nanny. And by the way, Nick saying she was there just visiting and Kayla saying she's the live-in nanny. I have an opinion that was the lovely Kayla, like her kind of bitterness about this whole situation and her just kind of shivving April in the ribs a little bit. I felt like that was a little, I felt like there might have been a little, because at that time, I remember that Monday, Kayla had texted me to tell me everybody's low. This is all terrible. This is the worst thing ever. You were right about everything. Society has a point. You shouldn't do this stuff. Like that was Monday. And that was the night of the
God is judging us.
That was the night of the Coke stream. Then the next day, Nick shows up with remember that big shiner on his eye, that big bruise on his eye. I think Kayla probably threw something at him. He says he slipped on a dog toy. Horse shit. But
he tripped on some clothes.
Yeah, well, that would be believable. But I think that April was the live-in nanny thing was a little, because I remember Kayla crying to me once when April moved her stuff in. And April goes, another woman has moved her shit into my house. And she did not like it. And I remember telling her, I'm like, why don't you tell Nick you're not comfortable with this? And tell her to get the out. Like, this is your house. I remember telling her, I believe I used the words, fight for your home. I'm like, if you don't want this woman in your house that your husband's like, get her out of here. This is your house. Fight for your home. That was always kind of my problem, was like there was this want and this desire to do better. But there was never any follow through with this woman. The difference between her and Nick never wanted to get better. Nick didn't think anything was wrong. He was doing aces. Kayla was like,
name's April.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. But Kayla was always, we need to stop. This needs to be the last time we get drugs. There's a woman in my house. This is blah, blah, blah. Kayla would always acknowledge that things were, but wouldn't do anything about it. When it came to nut cutting time, as they say, nothing. McBuster says, Kayla hates April. She's just staying close to that trust fund money. I believe it was my lawyer who said, he goes, man, the things some women will do to avoid working is amazing. And I'm like, you know what? That's pretty much it.